Welcome to Intense Future! Or in future tense. Today, we have 3 topics. The first, Lyft. The second, Disney pin trading. And the third, I get they. Anyway, starting off, I want to talk about Lyft. I want to give a little bit of an insight into Lyft versus Uber. Lyft is better. Why is Lyft better? Because I said so. No, but also Lyft is better because they're a little pickier about how they pick their drivers. And they have a little bit better rates depending on where you're going. And in my opinion, it's just better. You know how I know that? Because I'm a Lyft driver. That is one of my 3 jobs. That's how I afford Disneyland. Anyway, I want to give a warning, though, on the other hand. When you're using Uber or Lyft as a driver, please be careful to make sure you double, triple check everybody's addresses and everybody's destination before they get into the car. Because I had my wife take a Lyft the other day, and she had a driver who tried to stiff us out of about $60 by trying to take her to Ontario for whatever reason. And I triple checked the address before I scheduled it for her, and it was the right address in Loma Linda, but somehow she ended up in Ontario. And I already had the problem resolved with Lyft, so we are cool. But for those of you who are drivers, please triple check. And for those of you who are getting into a Lyft, I want to just say this. Lyft is a service that's for you to use to get where you need to go as quick as you can and as comfortably as you can. If you get into a car and you do not trust the driver, get out. If you get into a car and it is dirty and you're not comfortable with how the car looks, get out of the car. If you get into a car and the driver does not greet you and the driver is not polite to you right off the bat, get out of the car. You deserve to have a safe trip with someone you can trust in a vehicle that is well cared for, that will get you where you need to go without any problems. Also, when you get into the car, if your driver does not check with you and you still want to go with them, make sure you check that they have the right address and that they're going to end up getting you where you need to be as quickly as possible. If they're not using Waze, ask them about it, and they might switch it for you. I know I used to use Google Maps, and I had a few passengers ask for Waze, so I switched, and it's been a lot faster and a lot more efficient for my passengers, because I'm not in it to make as much money as possible. It's just extra money for me. Now, for those of us out there who are doing full-time, which I used to do, it's a little different, so I can't speak for everybody. But for me, I'm willing to switch up my map programming. If you're comfortable with Google, or if you're comfortable with Waze, I always check with my passengers on how they're doing when they get in the car, so I can kind of feel the mood, make sure I give them a good trip, and if they need a little pep talk, maybe I can put one in there. And I always try to make sure to check where they're going, so they get there as efficiently as possible. But I wanted to give out that warning that if you get into a car and you're not comfortable, get out of that car, because you deserve to have a safe and comfortable trip. That being said, Disney pins are amazing. And if you call yourself a Disney fan and don't do Disney pin trading, you're living a lie. But don't worry, I still love you. Mostly out of pity, but I still love you. But, no, I wanted to introduce some of you who don't know what pin trading is to pin trading. I don't actually have any pins with me, so this video is kind of pointless. But I want to give you the information, and I can show you when I go to Disneyland what they all look like and what you can do with them. But just for information's sake, for those of you who know, you already know how great it is. For those of you who don't, pin trading is this thing where you can go to any shops. You can even go on eBay and order a bunch of them. You can order a bunch of pins, and you get a lanyard, and you can get a little pouch on the bottom of the lanyard that you can hold your passes, your fast passes, your tickets in. And you decorate the lanyard with Disney-themed pins that the company actually pays for and puts out seasonally as well as year-round. You can collect characters, you can collect ride tickets, you can collect moving pins. There's all kinds of different pins, so whatever you're interested in, I guarantee they have it. And you just put it on your lanyard. If you want to buy a bag, they have some bags. They're kind of pricey. I would recommend going on eBay for them, but you can get a bag where you can display your collections and show off your style. But it's really cool. You get, whatever pins you're going to start with. I would recommend going on eBay, buying a bunch of them, and taking the pins you like and keeping them in your personal collection, and displaying pins that are what I call throwaway pins, which is kind of, that's what you do. You get some throwaway pins that you're willing to trade out to kids who might be interested. So pick some better, higher class throwaway pins, something with Mike and Sully on it or Mickey Mouse that you don't necessarily want, that kids can get from you. Or if you're just looking to trade with cast members, go around the park. Anywhere you see a cast member with their little name badge and where they're from, they'll either have a lanyard, a pouch, or a little holder that you can look at, and you could trade any 2 pins at a time with them. You don't have to ask them. I always do, because I believe that I should give them that choice, because even though they're trained to be happy with you all day, I think it helps them feel a little better when I ask them if they're okay with trading. I've actually had it happen where I'm like, hey, do you mind me trading this for this, when they have a bunch of dull pins, because I want to make sure they get something quality. And if they don't have any quality pins and I just want to get rid of a crap pin, I always try and ask them, hey, can I give you this pin? And they're always like, well, you can trade us whatever you like. And I say, no, I want to make sure that you're cool with this trade, because I want to make sure that you get as much interaction with people who are coming by trading pins. And if you have a bunch of pins that are uninteresting, that's not going to happen. I know they can swap them and everything later, but I always try and be courteous. So if you want to be courteous, you can ask, and they'll usually say yes. I've never had anybody say no. I've had some interesting conversations, but I haven't had anybody say no. And you trade 2 pins and get whatever you want and go on with your day. And there's pin trading shops all throughout Disneyland and Disneyland California. I'm still kind of trying to figure out my new favorite spots, because they actually took out a few years ago my favorite spot in New Orleans. I guess it just wasn't getting enough traffic. It's a crystal shop now, so whatever. Shout out though to an old friend of mine that I really miss, Manuel. Thank you for getting me in the pin trading. It has been a wonderful experience at Disneyland, so thank you. But anyway, so you trade your 2 pins, go around all day, and then when you come home, you take them all off if you want to, and you look at them and decide if you want to keep some, throw some away next time you go to the park, whatever you want to do, and that's how you pin trade. And it's really cool. There's a whole community. If you go over near Buzz Lightyear in Tomorrowland, sometimes I actually have some professional pin traders, which are really cool, and they have like whole bunches of pins. And we're not talking just cheapo pins. We're talking like collectible, classic, just amazing quality pins. So if you want to go check that out, go ahead. Sometimes they'll sell them to you. I think they have licensed pin traders over there which can sell them to you. If not, I'm not sure if they're allowed to be selling them, but sometimes they do. I had a friend of mine buy one a few years back, so go figure. But it's a great thing. So go pin trade, enjoy yourself, because that is just opening up an entire new world for you to experience at Disneyland outside of the rides, attractions, characters, and food. I'll show you some more, like I said, when I go. But that's pretty cool to check out. Third thing is, I'm almost finished now working with a friend of mine, Chris Kallstrom, second shout out, on a book that I published. It's part 1 of 5. It's just a short little, I call it a bathroom reader, because the chapters are real short. You can read them in about 10-15 minutes. There's only like, I think there's 12 of them. I don't know. It's been a while since I read the whole thing. But you could take it, put it in your little bathroom magazine thing if you still have those, and just read a chapter every time you go in, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. He seems pretty psyched. I was just trying to write it down because it actually comes directly from a dream I had. But it's called The Beginning, James Eugene Hahn, or James E. Hahn, The Beginning, on Amazon. You can check it out. It's only like $6. It's part 1 of 5, but my friend Chris is almost finished editing it, so I'm going to start working on the next book, or continuing rather, since I've already started. and that'll be coming out soon. And once we get to the 5th book, I'll put them all together, and we'll have a total like 150, 200 page novel at some point. But I was excited about that. I want to share that with you. I'll post a link down below to CreateSpace, which is an Amazon affiliate. I actually get better royalties there, so you'd really be doing me more of a favor if you buy it from that spot. But anyway, that's it for in future tense today. I'm going to go ahead and head out because I got nothing else to say. But before I go, the recommendation of the day. Justin Scard is sick. Look him up on Twitter. And I recommend that you send your love, because he is awesome. And once this video is no longer current, just look up Justin Scard. He's amazing. In future tense!